Are you recording?
We are now recording.
I'd like to call the May 17th, 2024 special New Paltz Town Board meeting to order.
Second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any announcements?
Stand for the pledge.
Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any announcements? Anyone from the public like to say anything? Thank you for being here, Terrence.
Well, there
Thank
is
you.
one announcement.
Okay.
There will be another special meeting Monday night.
Yes, another special meeting Monday night at 5:30. I believe that is at the town, at the courthouse.
At the courthouse.
Okay,
And-
stay tuned for more.
Okay.
So we are going to, approve the agenda items?
I move that we approve the agenda for discussion.
Yes, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, well, you have a discussion though.
Well, yes, I am approving the agenda. So we are here to approve the police commission's recommendation to hire Tyler Peace as a provisional sergeant at the starting sergeant salary outlined in the collective bargaining and credit for time served as full-time civil service status of police officer for longevity and leave accrual purposes. And this was a recommendation of the police commission, and it is typically the policy of the town board to follow the recommendations of the police commission. However, today, interim supervisor Alex Baer sent us a memo saying, I want the town board to be aware of one important detail in the peace contract. He is asking in his contract for a 5-year full service credit that he did not fulfill. He worked 5 years part-time here, which equals to 1 year and 34 days of work, not a full-time 5 years of service. I mention this for your consideration since it will cost the town quite a bit more, and it is not fair to the other officers who have worked full-time and would ask for service credit when they actually served on New Paltz Police full-time rather than part-time. Maybe okay just 1 year of service credit. Something to please consider as you okay his contract as sergeant. Alex Baer, interim supervisor. So she's asked us to take that into consideration, and Acting Chief Sutton,
Yes.
do you have any financial information that could help us understand?
Would you like to come to the table?
Sure.
I'd be happy to move over.
So as far as Tyler, if and when he is employed with us, he does not, just to clarify, he does not have his own contract. He would come in as part of the union's contract, which is all of our members up to the rank of detective sergeant. The only two separate people outside of the union that have contracts individually with the town is myself as a lieutenant and Chief Lucchese. Everyone else falls under the umbrella of the union contract. So Tyler Peace wouldn't have his own contract, just to make sure we clarify that.
Yeah.
As far as longevity goes, longevity only steps in once a full-time employee has reached year 8. And then they get an extra $1,000 for the year on top of their normal salary. So that is what would affect Tyler in this case. The union contract is for year 8 and 9, and then so on as longevity goes up. Am I explaining that?
I think
Clearly.
so, but does that mean his year 8 and 9 would include the 5 years that he already did?
Basically what the discussion was, what Chief Lucchese spoke to the police commission about, was crediting him from the time he became a full-time police officer. Because we're looking at it as we're getting someone that has X amount of years of police officer experience. Although some of that wasn't with the New Paltz Police Department, he's been a full-time police officer for years, so we're getting all of that experience. So that's why he made that request.
So how many years service would he be coming to us starting with?
I believe he started in 2016, so that would put him, I would have to look at what his
Okay.
anniversary date is exactly, but I believe either year 8 or starting year 9.
Okay, okay,
So he would, if it was approved by the board tonight, he would fall into that first longevity step, which is $1,000 for a calendar year.
okay.
So these two decisions are made in conjunction, so us approving him also means that we're approving that contract, or can that piece of the contract be approved later and us just approve him as sergeant for New Paltz Police Department?
My understanding is that it's, that was
You have to
the
do both
agreement,
at the same
yes.
And
yeah.
as long as we also remember that there's not a separate contract, so we're not really approving his
Yeah, he's coming in
contract.
But
under
the
the umbrella of the
longevity is-
unions. That's,
Longevity is approved separately.
well, it's part of the union contract. It's
Okay.
just the
What
town
you
board
give
would,
someone,
the
though.
town board would be agreeing to pay him or to give him longevity for his entire time as a
Credit.
full-time police officer. Credit him for that, even though all of it wasn't with the New Paltz Police Department.
Do we have to make that decision today, that part?
I believe so, just because it's kind of, that was all balled in when we met with him and the police commission interviewed him, and that was kind of
So
part
in
of the
order
deal,
to-
so to speak, all along.
We want to attract, him to join our, force, right? So that's, I think, the reason it's in there. So in order for him to be able to say, yes, this sounds good, this might be important.
And I think the part of that as well was the position that he's leaving in
Yeah.
Westchester County. He's actually taking a pay decrease to
Mm.
come back here and be a supervisor with us. But part of that is
He lives
Yeah.
here, does he not?
he resides in New Paltz.
Right.
Yes. He grew up in New Paltz, and a lot of that weighs into, he likes the way our agency runs and the way we police the town of New Paltz, and all that leads into why he wants to come back here. But part of the reason that was put in there is because he is actually taking a pay decrease. Even though he's only an officer, down in Westchester, it's still a pay decrease for him to come back.
This is basically a way to sweeten the pot,
Yes,
Right.
so to speak.
so to
Yes.
speak. And the legal and the union has said that this is something we can do
That's my
at the
understanding.
board's discretion.
Yes, Chief Lucchese has handled that end of it, because it's been something that's been going on now for about 2 months, but that's my understanding.
And will us making this decision now set a precedent going forward?
I don't believe so. I believe this is
Can I get
specific
the
to,
thing from Alex?
the board would be agreeing to make this specific for the hiring of Tyler Peace, not precedent setting for everyone, all hires moving forward.
Have we done it before?
Not to my knowledge, but
I asked that earlier, too.
Yeah, well, I spoke earlier a little bit with Julie, and I know the only people that comes to mind are
That had
retired.
that
Had
had
lateral in the
lateral
mid-90s
transfers.
when I was in elementary school.
Me too, no.
So he would be coming to us,
I think it's more like 8 years,
yeah, but why is,
cause it's 2024 now.
oh, thank you, dear. So our supervisor recommends, what does she recommend there?
1 year.
1 year. And the,
Right.
I think it's towards the
The
very end.
credit, she's talking about the difference
Longevity.
between full-time and part-time, and she equated
Yeah, maybe
his
just over 1 year.
part-time service to years. And then she's suggesting 1 year, because that's what it equates to. That's why she suggested 1 year,
Okay, so
But-
we're considering 5 years,
because he's
but
went
she's saying
somewhere else.
we should only do 1 year. What if we split the difference?
Well,
So these terms have been approved by the police commission
Correct.
and the police chief,
Correct.
right? So to me, I'm like personally a little bit hesitant to sort of take away, what they worked on and second guess that they're thinking. We obviously have to think about the bottom line for the taxpayers, and this is $1,000 a year extra. something,
So would
it's,
that,
it's tricky.
would that, $8,000 be paid in a lump sum when he comes here, or would it
No,
start?
it's $1,000.
So, but if we're talking about 8 years of
No.
service, so it would start this year
No,
for
no.
$1,000.
It's a step, you know, in union contracts, there's a
Right.
step, so it's just because he would be reaching that step, and that's the point. It's that gets that extra $1,000 a year.
So that
So
would
it's
only
$1,000 a year.
begin this year when he's hired. We would begin to pay $1,000 a year.
Per year,
We're
correct?
not prorating it.
No, and it's not, and the PBA contract reads that it's not cumulative. So it's not like next year it's $2,000 and the year after that it's $3,000. It's $1,000 until he were to hit another longevity step. There's 3 longevity steps in the union contract, but it's not cumulative. The most it could go up to as of right now in the union contract is 3,500 is what it gets capped at, and that's an officer, I believe, that has 15 or more years.
We know, here's my opinion, you know, I'm not trying to speak more than anyone else, by the way. But I'll just say that we know there's a lot of difficulty hiring police officers currently, you know, nationwide, right? Someone was trying to recruit me in a mall to join the Stadies, you know what I'm saying? But the point is, we've always had a really good, in all my 9 years, really good, you know, it's been to the benefit of the town for us to listen to, you know, what our force, you know, the leaders have suggested, you know, where this person is taking a pay cut. I think if we, you know, look to negotiate, it may not go as, you know, our way. I just don't know if it's a good faith kind of thing to do, and that's just my opinion. So I'm 1 of 3.
So I did a lot of work to recruit this police commission that we currently have,
Mhm.
and I'm the police commission liaison. I do think though, as the town board, it's still incumbent upon us to make the final decision
For
and
sure.
of course take their recommendations into account. Doesn't mean that we can't also have some independent discussion and thought about it. I also am really of the mind that we need to be remembering what a special town we have and how being a police officer in New Paltz is a special thing and holds its own weight. Like, and we're talking about somebody who has to travel now. Like, there are also benefits of him being a police officer here. So I want to make sure that we start to change our narrative about how we're trying so hard to get people, like, people need to really understand that it's a special thing to be a police officer in New Paltz as well. They have very different issues in Westchester that we have. They have a lot more people. They have, you know, many other things that people have to take into account. So as much as I am happy to attract people, I also want us to be on a more, I don't wanna say offensive side, but making sure that we let our officers understand that as much as we appreciate them, we also have a really great and special place to be at as well.
You have to so do you want to make a motion for a different kind of offer, or,
Well, I already gave the idea of splitting the difference, so.
so we would,
So it would just take him longer to get to that
right,
Right.
step.
Right.
Right?
Yes,
Because as much as we say we're not setting a precedent, at the end of the day, somebody will come back and say, but you did it for Tyler. You did it for, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be an issue that comes up again. And we want to treat our officers well, absolutely. And we also have to think of our taxpayers and everything else that we have. So I think it's really, we have to be really thoughtful about the balance between the two.
so when you say split the difference, we would be offering,
Well, she said 1 year. They want to do 5. It's a
do
big
they wanna do
difference.
5 or 8? Where do,
It's a 5-year
8
full
years.
service
yeah,
credit.
but
Oh, it's an 8-year.
he would
8
come in
years.
with
He's been a
8,
police officer since 2016.
yeah. So,
So that's why we were looking at it, because we're getting someone that has 8 years of experience.
right. So, if
So
we
it
split
says
the
that
difference.
in terms of whether he worked with us for,
He worked with us for 5 years, part-time.
Correct, but
Got
he's been a police officer since 2016.
Okay,
that's
so
what we're
he's
trying
been
to
a police
credit.
officer for
Correct,
8
that's,
years.
that's what the initial, when he was brought in and came in for the interview, the initial was, we would look to credit you for the entire time that you've been a police officer since
Mhm.
2016.
we're not giving, it's just giving credit for those years when he
That
wasn't
he's been a
here.
police officer in New York State, not specifically in New Paltz that entire time,
Right.
but he was a police officer in New York State for 8 years.
So your offer would be that we accept the contract, but we offer 4 years of longevity? We split the difference between what the supervisor recommended and what the negotiations ended up with? Is that what I'm understanding?
While you think about it, can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could ask, legal or a union rep
Well, that,
about this, but,
yeah.
is it appropriate to credit them a year for each year of part-time service? Do you know the answer?
Yeah, I couldn't.
Do you know what I'm saying?
couldn't speak for the
So
union,
for those
yeah.
5 years of part-time, Alex was taking it and making it 1 year because that's what it equates to.
right, but
Right.
is that the correct?
Is that what, that is appropriate, is that what's done when you do steps? Can you give a person a step for part-time service?
Well, I can tell you as far as, like, for example, in the New York State retirement system, you're credited based on how many hours you work. So you can't just say part-time or full-time. If you're a part-time employee, but you're working full-time hours because every time they
Right.
call for a shift, you're here 40 hours a week, then you'd be
Do
essentially
we
working.
know how many hours he worked?
No, I mean,
I know there's a fair bit about overtime among the,
yeah, I mean, I can tell you, he worked a lot when he was a part-timer. I certainly couldn't give you a number of hours off the top of my head.
so she seems to be assuming or, using this idea that it was half-time. Part-time was half-time.
Because he was employed with us as a part-time officer,
Right,
not a
but we
full-time
don't
officer,
know that
but
it was
we don't know how many
half-time.
hours he
That's
worked.
true.
Right,
I mean,
Also-
just for a frame of reference, if I may, when we first hire an officer, their field training is 3 months, full-time hours, whether you're a part-time officer or not. When
then
we
he
first
did,
hired
he did that.
you worked 3 months
Right.
with a training officer, 40 hours a week.
Mhm.
So before he even started on his own, he already had 3 months worth of credit.
So, when we just put the length of service aside for a minute, right now, without Tyler Peace, if we hire him, will you be able to reduce the amount of overtime from other officers?
Well, he would be coming in as a sergeant, not an officer, so
Alright.
it wouldn't have a
Okay.
direct correlation
Right.
to overtime for officers.
And we need a sergeant.
Absolutely.
Of course.
And we
Right.
don't have, we
We
have
don't
2
have
younger
one.
force to
Yeah.
have
Okay.
someone, so he's an important piece of a puzzle.
Very important, yes.
And I'm pretty sure that's why we're being asked to, give a little something, and that would help him, make the decision to be here cause right now, he hasn't accepted any position, of course, cause he doesn't have an offer.
Correct, yes, until it's
So-
approved by the town board, he doesn't have a position to accept. What I can tell you is he was contacted and brought in for an interview based on the terms that were approved by the police commission.
Well, I'm just gonna bite the bullet and say that, I think we need to respect the recommendation of the police commission. And in the future, I think if we could have more detailed financial and the implications of their recommendation, it would just be more transparent to the public, especially when we put the budget together in October. But at this point, I am ready to, make the motion to, approve the police commission's recommendation as it is offered.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Of course,
Um,
thank you.
And before we go, I hope that we will take care of all of the items that were not addressed last night at Monday's meeting, including, I would hope, to interview the people who want to apply for supervisor. Although I'm not sure, you know, I guess we can ask the current supervisor to reach out to people and set up time slots. If not, then maybe we can propose a second special meeting for next Thursday. What date would that be? The 20?
It would be a third special meeting.
Yeah, I mean, we promised people that we would interview them for this position.
23rd, right?
Okay, so tentatively, let's hold that date just for interviews. I understand that Alex Bear has withdrawn her application for the New Paltz Democratic Committee endorsement. But I'm assuming she still wants to be considered to be appointed here, so if we can just ask her to reach out to
Right.
all the candidates. If we can't get them by Monday, we should certainly do it by Thursday.
We do wanna do this, you know, as soon as possible, or at least,
Yeah.
would you agree?
So,
Of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
okay,
And, you know, I think maybe making sure that we don't lose, you know, New Paltz, our constituents don't lose faith, you know, in
in
the
the
board's,
process.
the board's ability to continue to, you know, run the town smoothly. We all are interested in getting this, moving this forward. And finding someone who could be the interim supervisor, who has
Yeah.
the best interests of the town in mind and will do a great job, and keep it in mind that, you know, there's gonna be a budget that we're gonna need to be dealing with this
Starts in August,
Very soon.
usually.
very
yeah.
soon, and, you know, we really need to start having some good communication.
Did you
about
hear
all-
back from Alex about whether or not we should approve the warrants?
Did not hear it back, that's why I keep looking at,
Okay,
I didn't.
It's not on the agenda.
if not, but we
But
could amend.
we
the
just, nothing
agenda.
could happen to any of us, you know, like before
Okay.
Monday. Everyone
I'm,
eat well, but we wanted to approve the, move the warrant, but, interim supervisor Alex put together the agenda and it's not on it.
right,
It was
I
put
had-
on the Monday agenda,
I had requested that it be.
we don't know
on
why,
there. It's not, but
so,
I'm assuming it's not an emergency,
well, it must not be,
right,
yeah,
so.
but we know that it's
Nothing-
important before long, and Monday is not before,
Well-
Monday is soon, but it just makes it a
Well,
little bit like,
I know, we just need to pay our vendors, and I don't know why it's not on tonight's agenda, but I'm sure Alex is, you know, running the supervisor's office efficiently, and she's confident that we can wait until Monday. So,
do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I think you just made one.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.